see like Saints is going with their comfort picks. uh, I see Yasi is going mid, which means that Toko is going gold. That's not something we see all the time because we know that Toko is a mid main.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, Mimic picked up that Lucas. I like the Lucas pick, and I do think the Liu Yi is such a great pick because of the mobility that he gives. It's like so amazing. And Kill Pluto, locking in um
The CC.
CC, yeah, locking in that CC. I forgot a name for like a hot minute. But yeah, that's a really good XP laner. Quite durable, a lot of sustain. And we
Okay,
do
the
see the
irritable
Irithel being
pick.
banned out.
I mean, yeah, the irritable ban kind of makes sense because in a way, irritable does counter Granger, but then Toka still can pick up the Harith.
Yeah. We might
It's
see
like
Bind
Bind.
pulling a Kyrie.
Bind is teasing us with this
He's gonna pull a Kyrie, guys. He's gonna pick up that Marsha. Maybe. Maybe. Yes,
yeah.
he does. Finally. After
Hey,
all the
Kyrie's coming
teasing.
back. Okay, Kyrie is improved. You know.
Yes.
Oh, Robin going with the Tig, and there's the Harith. I think the Tig is nice. Yo, the way these people are teasing us,
They're playing with our feelings. Okay, so we did see the Tig pick coming in. I don't really think like Tig is not exactly meta, but like he is still quite good. I think maybe they'll be able to make it work with their draft.
like if Robin gets a good set, then I think they
Yeah,
can make it work.
yeah, definitely.
But I do like the Harith pick because I feel like Harith is such a good MM now.
And he's like top 5 MMs at the moment for sure.
Kufra. Um, what do you think about the Kufra?
Okay, so I think Kufra is a good pick. I'm just not sure about how Kufra is gonna like manage well into this draft.
Okay, I
Um,
like both sides drafts. Like I'm not gonna be biased just because I'm in Saints, you know. Like
oh yeah, definitely.
let them cook, Sam.
Yeah, let them cook. I'm just gonna say though, I am liking this side of Saint Dynasty's draft much better than I do Primordial Vanguards. And that is completely unbiased, guys. I'm not insane. So okay, anyway, we're gonna hand over to Avi and Malice for the play-by-play.
Hello, hello, hello. Irie, you here?
I am here, man. It's great to be
All
back.
right, my
I
king,
actually
my
thought I was just
king.
going to be part of the panel, but here we are.
Is what it is. We unite once more, man. All right, let's get to it, man. So, interesting. Saint Dynasty going in for the rotation towards the gold lane, while Primordials are going for the XP lane. This is interesting. This is quite switching things up. And before we get into the real dicey stuff that's gonna happen just now, I just wanted to point out, man, what's going on here? Kufra, Petrify. That's a bit interesting. I wanted to point this out. Like, where's the flicker, man? But who knows? Who knows? Let's see if this is a primordial meta that we do not know of. But judges from the draft, though, usual Saint Dynasty draft, it's going to be very scary for Primordials
Hmm.
to really take control of the map, given how they have, forced their way into this. Like, you can already see it. Joy cutting in, stealing buffs, stealing jungle. It's already happening. But let's see how Primordial plays this.
Yeah, but we're seeing a bit of an engaged. First blood goes to Robin, I think, and that's going down the. I actually thought you were going to do the play-by-play, but no matter. She got in a very bad position. Might go down, but that skill keeps him alive long enough for Alpha to come take the kill. But now the skirmish still continues. You would think that PvP have the advantage, but no, Saint Dynasty with a bit of a play. Conqueror does go down, and that is a jungler for
Wow.
um
Wow.
a
Incredible.
mage and a roamer, man. What do you think about that trade?
That trade, oh man, this is a brawl server already, and there's a clash already happening. It's a 3-4, man. You don't see this very often, but Saint Dynasty want to play with their food, but let's just see if Primordials can put up a good fight. So, moving forward, let's just see. I'm gonna commentate on the fights. My bad, brother. No worries, man. But Turtle has spawned. We'll see who first has control over this.
I actually wanted your opinion in terms of the draft, but you did mention the Kuka with the Petrify. I actually thought it was kind of intended towards the Joy to keep him locked down for a bit longer, but we are going to see that first bit. Oh my days, Alpha B
My
taken
goodness.
down quickly.
That is a flank from Mimic that is going to hurt, and they are going in for the trade. This is a 3-for-nothing trade, chasing down the Kufra. Can he escape? He escapes, but the red buff cannot. This is a good lead from Saint Dynasty. That is a turtle, and a gold lead already starting to appear on their end. And the diversion play was a bit too early, but he still was able to get the red buff. But he's in danger. CC chasing down Togoloshi has no supports. Farce is about to finish what it started. So that's a bit sad from Louis.
Yeah, man, a bit of an overextension from them, but they did get what they need. They did get a few kills plus the buff to kind of deny Bind Crusher here, so the value will even out. One thing I do want to take notice of is the gold lead, man. The shift has already sided towards Saint Dynasty. You can already see that even um Conqueror is building up to that first item, so you know he might go for a
Sure.
divine or genius, but oh, there's a bit of a skirmish.
Skirmish happening over here. Farsa tries to get in the ult in, but was caught up by Tigreal. And Robin, Bind Crusher, is getting absolutely demolished here. Even with the anti-heal, he's unable to sustain through that damage. And unfortunate for him, another jungle steal. Not very fun for him.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising how this game is playing out because of the early game type of draft that PV has here. But oh, the Sukunap forced to use that flicker, caught in a very bad position between the mage, but it seems to be Khan who takes the kill, and this is not looking good for PV.
Yeah, that's just an incredible synergy that you see very often with Saint Dynasty. That turret dive from Khan was incredible, man. It was clean, efficient, quick, and Turtle's just about to spawn here, and they're looking pretty good here. Moving on to the five
Oh,
minute
but
mark of
Mimic,
the game. Mimic, incredible pick off, and that's gonna cost them another invasion onto Nigel. But oh, the Tigreal with the implosion play, catching 3, and this will be our first wipeout of the game. Kufra being the last one to fall, wiped out. Look at all those dead bodies.
bodies
Incredible.
flying everywhere, as a wise man once said. But that is an absolutely wonderful play by Saint Dynasty. The decision making, the absoluteness, not only taking the kills, taking the buffs, but immediately going forward the objectives, the Turins, the turtle. So it goes to show they're very decisive in how they play the game. Seems as though this is a lot more fast paced than I thought it would be, man. Did you actually think this game would go like this?
Well, oh man, you would expect so much discipline. Oh, the Kufra shutting me up already, getting with a good pick off
Oh,
with the Farsa damage, absolutely insane. And then Khan trying to turn the tables and take down the Kufra and the oh my goodness, so much is happening. The Basha goes down, and my goodness, a 4-for-1 trade, man. They just shut you up real quick, man. Like you said, fast-paced gameplay, and not much I can say about that. You don't expect it, but you love to see it.
you love to see it. Very chaotic too. Um, but I do love the trades that are happening. They're very minuscule, but you can actually see that these players actually know what they're doing and they're trying to get value throughout. And even here, man, with Khan, I think he's kind of waiting for the Granger to show up for that 1v1 just to kind of push him a bit. And that's
Right
exactly what
on
happens.
cue,
Khan with
right
the
on cue.
godlike.
On showing absolute dominance on the map here, incredible. And Still going in for the plays, man. Going for the Farsa. Can the Farsa escape just by a narrow margin? The Kufra showing the air that it's not. What was that? The ultimate going into the air, unfortunate. But we do see Kufra making for himself a name. But I think the Purify was expended by the Harith. Let's see if they can take advantage of that. Basha defending the turret. It's a bit risky here because there's a whole 5-man up
Oh,
on this bot lane. And my goodness, triple kill getting picked up by the Lucas. And this is why you don't want to see Lucas in your games. What do you think about that?
that was absolutely wonderful played from Mimic, man. And you're absolutely right. Lucas is an absolutely broken hero. But I think, for me, um, I think the most valuable here in this game has to be the Loi, man. The amount of mobility that she gives you, her effectiveness within team fights. Because PV they can't group up because of the low E because she'll just have a day and a half. One thing I kind of was wondering during the draft phase is why they didn't go for something like a but why PV rather didn't go for something like a Badang or something a lot more short in terms of lockdown. Because when you're dealing with the Joy, you need somebody to be able to lock her down long enough for you to be able to do damage. So I think that's oversight from PV is what's costing them right here.
Seal play going in for the CC. Lucas showing some damage onto the CC and she gets picked off. The top turret being a free pickup for St. Dynasty, but the diversion play seems to be the play that they want. They're going to use it to go for the grandeur. That's a good move by them. But you can see in the top lane, the Petrify being used. Okay, you know what? Let's get some justice into the Petrify. Cooper caught off the Harith. I'll give it to him. And as you can see, yeah, as you said, man, that diversion plays by the Lu Yi, just picking up those plays, it's incredible. It always turns these 1v1 matches into 3v1s, 4v5s. Like it turns the tides very quickly with these diversion plays if you're smart with it. And it seems that Tokoloshi is the mind of this game.
Yeah, the effectiveness cannot be understated because it allows them to have full control over the map. Because as you see, PV can't do anything. They literally cannot get close enough to a turn to be able to be effective. And to add insult to injury, she picks up those magic boots, the cooldown reduction boots, so you'll know she's going to be spamming that alt continuously. So I'm kind of interested in hearing what you think PV has to do here. What do you think they can do rather to turn the tides?
Now, honestly, I think whenever they it depends on who they target, honestly. If they are able to catch the Joy off guard and clear him out of it, I think that protects their backline much better for them. And I feel like they've drafted the Basha into this gameplay, but he's not effectively sustaining much in this gameplay. But hopefully, once he gets his items going, he can see something happening. Because already, as we're watching, a wipeout for
Look at
two
this.
of Primordials already out of the count, and turrets are falling left and right.
You're absolutely right. And CC, caught in a very bad position, does manage to escape, giving himself a rather a momentary lapse or breathing space. But I like what Saints Dynasty are doing here, man. They're absolutely suffocating PB, making sure that they stay within the turrets. I also like how they're managing the far lanes, not pushing it entirely, um, because if it's pushed up too much, then the enemies can just clear it up and maybe go for the turret or at least get a bit of a trade from that. But the way they're managing the waves is making sure that PV has no value to gain, no trades whatsoever. And especially when you go into like the mid lane, I don't really see a lot of wave clear from PV. They do have the Granger, they do have the Farsa. Um, I could be wrong with her name, but I think it's the Farsa. They do have the Farsa. That might help them a bit, but as time goes on, if they don't find a play, if they don't find a solution, I think they'll just be suffocated, and it might be peak for them, man. But I genuinely love what Saint Dynasty is doing. Another thing to take notice of is that, or rather, let's just take a moment to look at the builds. It seems as though Yassi does have that Holy Crystal, so she's going to hurt. I think she's building towards that. I forget the other penetration item, but the red one, you all know it, you all love it,
Blade.
but I think that's what she's building towards now, and the health is going to be scaling up massively. But oh,
As you
big
see, a concealed play by Tigreal, catching 3. They get obliterated in 2 seconds. My goodness. And that's going to set them up perfectly for this Lord push, and before even the crash, there's only 3 remaining, and then the turret diving by Lucas, but Lucas gets picked off. That's a good pick off by the CC, but is it enough to stop the Lord push? He's still full health, and the turret
That's
locked down.
GG.
The base is going down. GG's. Wow.
Oh wow, wow. That was an absolute stomp, man.
Yeah,
That
clean
was
and
boys to
efficient.
men. That was boys versus men, rather. Um, I'm I'm really excited about the game, and that I don't know if this is a best of one, best of three. Maybe you will tell me, but
Best one, best
I
one, best
genuinely
one.
loved how Saint Dynasty played there.
Yeah, yeah. As you can tell, man, it's always draft, man. 70% of the game is draft, and
Hmm.
you can see it very clearly here. They had the mobility, they had the team fight, they could last longer in them.
Hmm.
That just goes to show you need to put in the work to, yeah, the book work before the mechanics.
Exactly. And something I was wondering as well during that draft phase is that if you actually look at their draft, they have barely, if any, dive or any, somebody to kind of cause problems towards the back line. Because if you're looking at it, Loyi doesn't necessarily have much to worry about. Maybe the Foster is the only, that feather airstrike is the only thing that kind of give a bit of stress. But
Right.
other than that, the Kufra, as you said, doesn't have the flicker. So you're not going to make those out of nowhere plays
Yeah,
like Robin was doing with the TIG. So you do need somebody to kind of cause problems towards the back line because, yes, he was just having a time of his life, you know.
absolutely, absolutely.
Um, so I think that kind of that misstep from them in the draft phase really cost them. And, if you want to go for something like a Berkshire, you can do it in the first phase, because you can flex it. You can go roam, you can go jungle, and we have seen it go
Exactly.
to the EXP a number of times. So I think leaving a pick like that for the second phase is just it costed them a lot of picks, man.
Right,
But
yeah, that
that's
that that sums up the game pretty well. And I think now we'll just pass it over to the panel if they're willing to take over.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a pretty one-sided game. I do know I looked at the standings at one point and I just saw Saints, all of them won bounty. That was insane. Also an 11-minute game that was quite short. But yeah, we are going into our next match, which is the Bellatrixes versus Soul Society, just waiting for everyone to get into the lobby before we can actually start. Amy, can you please move up?
Wait,
Amy
guys.
wants to play,
Wait.
guys.
Where where is
yeah. I need a
Duo?
team. This is me auditioning. I need a team.
Hey, where's Duke? Let's invite Duke.
Yeah, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Okay, Duke is here. Just waiting for one more member of Soul Society. Before we can start up. No lobby bans. No. In game 3 only. Okay. That's still waiting for. Oh, who is AX Lumi? Why are they here?
Isn't this Alchemy X?
Yeah, pretty sure they're not in Soul Society, bro.
So it's like, how did I get in here?
Bro is confused. Okay. Oh, there's SpongeBob coming in. Okay, just one more. In the meantime, they should be ready up. But every time I say ready up, I spell it wrong. Like, I can't type in landscape mode on my phone. Okay, I think we're all set. Just waiting for everyone to ready up, and then I guess we're just gonna go into the draft. Okay, I'm going to start. Okay, straight into the draft. As you guys know, we are not doing any in-lobby bans because we're just speed running this. So we do see the first ban coming out from the Bellatrixes is the Hayabusa. I do think, yeah, it's pretty valid ban, though I would have probably gotten rid of the Joy first.
Um, I think it's nice to see Bellatrix. I mean, obviously they're like an all-female team, so
Yeah,
it's nice to
definitely.
see how they're going to play together. And there's the Joy ban. Like, it's Joy is either a pick or a ban. If you don't want to verse a Joy, just ban it, or you pick it. The Carmella pick, the Carmella ban. Do you know anybody that plays Carmella in Bellatrix?
Isla plays Kamala, I guess. But okay, Kalia ban coming in, pretty standard ban. I think she's also pretty pick or ban at the moment. And we do see Rose picking up that Lucas. Again, we have been seeing Lucas in like every match since the start of this invitational. So yeah, seeing Lucas getting picked up and we're seeing Astro picking up that Granger. Granger's still pretty solid pick at the moment.
Zushin is still opened. I like obviously the Lucas ban is like prior pick now if it's open, but this is a Lucas EXP. Astro obviously on his comfort hero playing Granger, and then we have the high low being picked up with Revitalize. So I'm assuming that's Queen. Rome, the Chup. What do you think about the Chup, Sam?
I really like the chip pick because I do think like, he has so much of control over the map because of the amount of mobility that he has and his ult allowing everyone to, just pop up. So yeah, very good for pickoffs. And yeah, Lana Del Rey picking up that Melissa, she's a pretty strong marksman at the moment as well. I really don't think she's top 5, but yeah, still pretty strong. We do see Lulama picking up that Jushin because I mean Hiran's open. I did expect the Bellatrixes to pick up the
Mhm.
Zushin, but yeah.
I mean, Zushin was just like such an annoying hero, when she's picking you up and throwing you around, and you just get like so annoyed. Yeah, I
Mhm.
did expect them to pick up the Zushin. I didn't expect them to take the Melissa. And then we see a Julian ban coming in. It's not your typical ban. So what do you think about that ban?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they know someone on the side of Soul Society who plays the Julian, and so it might be a target ban. Or maybe it's just that they're removing the Julian because he counters something that they want to pick. I'm not really sure at the moment. Um, but yeah, we do see Mikey Panic picking up that Roger. Also, it's very rare to see a Roger getting picked up because he's not really in the meta.
I think Soul Society, I feel like their drafting is they going for meta picks, but then they also going for comfort heroes, which is kind of good. Like, if they like a team playing together. Uh, the Hanzo. What do you think about the Hanzo?
Uh, I mean, if played right, Hanzo is really annoying. Because he's so elusive because you can barely catch him, especially when he's like in his other form. But yeah, I think it's might be able to work here. As for the Eve is pretty strong at the moment. Not even gonna lie. So like, I really like that pick.
Plus, it's a counter to Zushin, so like it's
Yeah.
understandable. Um, Based on both the drafts, like I like the chip. I feel like, the chip can make the plays, but then I'm also like the Zushin is going to be really annoying to go up against. But then, like, you know what, Sam? Let them cook.
Two, let them cook. Honestly, I love both drafts. I'm really not going to be able to pick a draft and say that that is my favorite or that is the one that I'm favoring because both of these drafts are so good. Um, yeah, and I do see that there's like a lot of meta and comfort picks on both drafts. So it's like, no, I'm not going to be able to pick one. What do you guys think, Malice and Ailey?
Personally, I kind of like how BTX kind of went with countering drafts rather than just going for something specific. So,
Mm-hmm.
with the Lucas, that's more or less a give. You know what I mean? If he's open, take it. It can go jungle. He can go EXP. It's a really good pick. But however, if you look at what is this mage again? Eve, I think her name is. She's a
Eve,
really,
yeah.
really good counter against the Lantern Girl. So I kind
The
of like how
lantern girl.
I forgot some of the names. You guys will have to forgive me.
Zushin,
The
yeah.
one thing, the one thing I would have changed is from the side of BTX, maybe go with something like Irithel, because if you look at the draft on the other side, it literally matches up against everything, you know. So I think that's the only kind of difference that I would have made. But what about you, man? Malice, what do you think?
I mean, I'm with you guys, man. I'm thinking that Soul Society are looking pretty good, but the counter picks were very interesting from BTX. I do love their way of drafting. It's very reminiscent of the top squads, and I think the Hanzo and the E, for example, is going to irritate the Grandeur and the Roger. But I think let's leave that for now and get straight into what is happening right in front of us. And Chip seemed to be trying to trying to make something happen, but she is going to bite the dust. But the first blood once again went to them, and that's two for nothing already in the bot lane. Lucas somehow got picked off. That's a bit unfortunate, but CC is definitely good up against this Lucas.
Yeah, man, that is not good for BTX because you don't necessarily want to lose the lead, especially if there's nothing to contest for. Losing a 1v1, but there is something in the mid. Seems as though these two teams are sticking in the mid. I do think they understand that the mid is prio. If you can get your mid, you can allow your mage to rotate better. But if you have a chip, I'm kind of surprised how this is playing out. But we are seeing a bit of a skirmish again. Lucas, Rose, they're not trading out well versus uh, the CC. Yes, that's the name of this girl.
Hanzo looking out for blood for the CC, but there's not going to be much to be done. Using up that blood just before Turtle is going to cost him, and the Hylos definitely being a menace towards him, but the Hylos overextending. Are they able to pressure him? Zushin coming in, and the pickup on the Lucas is inbound. Where's the skill? Come on, pickup is over there, and then the pick off. Lucas going down. Mikey coming in for Isla. Are they able to grab her? No.
I'm kind of surprised of how BTX are kind of playing this out because I do favor their draft a bit. Um, it does have that late game assurance, but at the same time, it does give you a bit of sustenance within the early game. But now we're gonna see the turtle. Oh my days!
Incredible steal from the chip. That was incredible. I think that when Fonzo was going, the pressure was just enough for Mikey to mess up the retry. That is some good pressure from their end. But the battle still continues. Lucas committing the flicker and still going in for the dive. That is a mistake from Lisa's end, but a bit unfortunate. She goes down. Dimple Druid has to use the flicker. The Luma going in between the two turrets. Can Hanzo pick her off and bite her for that? She will not fall. That's an incredible clutch from Lama. Wow, some aggression and a bit impressive from Soul Society.
Not just a bit impressive, really, really impressive, man. They're playing this really, really well. Their rotations, which is surprising when you have a chip, you should be able to rotate a lot better. But it seems the Soul Society have that in clutch. But we are seeing a bit of a skirmish here at the top lane.
Yep. Try to make a backline portal play, but was caught up by the Hylos. It's a bit unfortunate and to escape from them. It's a bit smart for him to not commit the ult in that particular moment. I don't think there will be enough time to turn it, so that is just a death to be taken.
One thing I am kind of curious about is the Ixia's builds. You know, she has built up the magic blade, which would suggest she was going for something like a rose gold. Maybe I don't remember the path to building a rose gold, but I do not think that she intended on completing that item, which might be a mistake.
Nah,
She
nah,
went for
nah, nah,
the
bro.
wind of nature. So
So basically, usually when marksmen go for that pre-build, that mini build, they usually do it for survivability. You can tell that she's building Wind of Nature also as the second item, so she's definitely benching off of that survivability. But I'm not too sure how that will affect later into the game. I feel like that's gonna really stump her damage. But as you can see, an engagement onto the Lucas. That was a good gank from their end. What they could do is pressure the bot lane and take some of that gold. In fact, they could have probably taken the turret too, but they're prioritizing the turtle right now, which is completely fine. I think Hanzo is pressured enough by the Hylos, who is already going in and causing extreme
damn.
disturbances at home. My goodness, Chip is really low and he finally goes down. That's two down for the count, and Soul Society is slowly creeping up on this map control.
Yep, definitely, man. Even as you look at the gold lead, it's almost like a 5K gold lead to kind of show you how reminiscent of the last game this is, if we're being honest. You know, we have really dominant teams here, but it seems as though the Granger is caught in between two. And she is going to expend that flicker for a bit of survivability, and
Oh,
the
and the
whole
chip
team is
goes onto the Cruncher. Lucas going for the bite, and he goes down. Hylos comes in just to survive and do some damage control, but there's not much he can do. Mikey is making dirty work of the Melissa, and the final person to bite the dust, Lucas. That was impressive. As you can see, like that chip, man, it's a 50-50. If it's a good portal, it's a good portal. If it's not, they get wiped. It's insane.
Yeah, man, placement is key. How you place it will kind of determine how the team fight goes. But we are going to see the Eve caught in a very bad position. Oh, it's actually the Hanzo. I do not know why I
Hanzo,
thought it was.
yeah, man, Hanzo hugging the walls, going in the air. Could that be the recall play? Ah, no, she got
It
caught
is
up.
not.
And Zushin is about to make work of him. They try to save him, but it's a bit too late. Lucas going for the damage play. Will chip portal here for the Melissa. Really not. Revitalize gets popped up though for the Lucas, and Zushin should have probably backed up, but she wants to play really aggressive. Mikey comes into the play and does what he does best. Cleanup crew. Three of them are down for the count, or at least should be. Yep, that is incredible. A lot of pressure from Soul Society, man.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, but I think a lot of it comes from Bellatrix staying way too long in places that they really shouldn't. And I think that's what's kind of turning the tides towards Soul Society. But props to them. They're playing it really well. They've gotten all, if I'm not mistaken, or rather two of the turtles. So it kind of goes to show you that the objective side is to them. And as you look at the map, and it's absolutely red. There's not even a spot of blue on the map, which kind of shows you how dominant they have been.
Mid
But
lane turret being
let me
the next one to be taken down. Hylos going for that backline ult. That's one of the good ults that you can place on Hylos. Perfect for trapping out the team and to go down. There's a lot of pressure, and the what do you even call this thing? The blast, the shield blasts are going down for the inhibitor turrets. Yeah, that's incredible.
the Torrent Shield, I think it was called. Maybe it got a rename since our last grazed, casting. But yeah, man, this is an absolute decimation. If I'm actually thinking about it, this might actually be worse than the last game. Because at least on the other one, a few kills were traded, a few turrets were traded as well. But here, it's just absolute decimation on all grounds. And what is surprising is the Granger as well. Because, you know, Granger on the leader pack falls way behind somebody like a Hanzo. So you think Granger not being meta, not being sub meta, wouldn't work here, but it's working out, man. It's working out.
Right, yeah, you're absolutely right. And we can see the chip tried to go in for a backline play, but the target was the CC, and the Zushin. But as you can see, this entire game, Zushin has been such a pain. Lucas had to burn the flicker, but a perfect ult by the Eve. Can they recover some of the damage? No. This 4 for nothing trade. Zushin barely escaping in high lows. My goodness, man. This is just a devastation, as you said before, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I, I think I have to eat my words here. I think I think it was one of our panelists who said maybe some of them are going for their comfort picks, and it kind of shows, man. They're really comfortable on these heroes. You know, their movements, their rotations, even how well they work as a team. You know, their splits as well. I don't think I don't know if you've noticed, but how they split up in terms of how they group up as a team, it really, really has helped them here because their rotations, the marksmen are fed. Um, it's just absolutely phenomenal how they're playing right now. And also the CC, I think she has been the MVP of this game if you think about it. The solo kill on Lucas in the early game that kind of spiraled into leads upon leads. But right now, we just have to see
Yeah,
how Bellatrix defend against
absolutely.
this Lord.
Absolutely. We got the Lord crashing down to the mid lane. Hylos commits the ults, keeping them away and keeping them at bay. And Hylos taking some turret damage. The stun comes in from the Eve. Lucas trying to come in from the flank. Catches with the Hylos, but gets bursted down very quickly. Can Melissa do some damage control over here? There are no minions for them to push into the mid. This is looking a bit good for... oh my goodness, that's a bit unfortunate for Hanzo. And wow, another clean up by Soul Society. They're looking very strong right now, and the base is looking
Oh,
up for the grabs. Melissa commits the Wind of Nature. It's starting to work its magic, but gets sniped down by the Grandeur. That's that long shot by Astro. The base looking tasty, and is over. Incredible.
slam
GG's,
dunk,
man.
man. Slam dunk GG's, and that's all she wrote. That was surprisingly one-sided. Before I left ML for a bit of break, I did know some of the members from Bellatrix, so I know for a fact that they are at the very least decent. However, I think that goes to show how strong Soul Society is, man. I
Yeah,
am
I'm
genuinely
gonna say.
impressed. I'm genuinely impressed. Was this
Yeah,
the
yeah.
result that you were expecting, or um, did the cards shift beyond your expectation?
I mean, man, sometimes, you would think so much hard work would translate to, consistent gameplay, but, everyone has their bad games. Seems like
Mm.
Bellatrix's this game weren't in it. And I feel like Soul Society, though, we should give a round of applause for them because they're starting to look like a very strong team in the circuits. And I'm getting more impressed by the circuits gameplay so far. So far, we're getting more teams that are starting to be playing a lot more controlled, a lot more disciplined. So it's a bit impressive. It's good to see, really.
That's wonderful to hear, man. That's wonderful to hear. But that's you and Maya's opinion. What about the outcasters? Maybe you have a bit more insight than we do, or maybe you saw something that you think Bellatrix could have done to kind of make this game more interesting. What are your guys' thoughts? Well, I guess they left me on red.
おお、自分に嘘をつくような奴は嫌いだ。
Left you on herd,
Unfortunate.
bruh.
I'm so fortunate. Unfortunate. But make sure you guys, I don't know if this is being streamed on YouTube. Um, please understand there's a lot of lack of information on my side. So wherever you guys are watching this,
お前みたく
please make sure you like,
強い
subscribe, hit the
Oh
敵を倒
shit,
す
notification
こと
bell,
sorry.
が
and do business.
Justice for Irie.
お this back.
Justice
お前みたく
for Irie.
No,
Hi.
sorry, Amy. I was just dealing with some stuff, making sure everyone is um like, just making sure everyone knows who's next and stuff like that. So I had my mic off. But yeah, I'm just adding everyone into the lobby right now for our next match, which is going to be a Katsuki versus Saint Dynasty. Um, so yeah, just letting them in.
I think I have a bit of a request to make it. Can I join you guys in the panel? Because I'm kind of interested in the the draft phase. I'm a bit of a nerd like that.
We know.
Hmm.
We do know.
Hmm.
Oh my god, do please move up. Anyone has the
No.
guys from Akatsuki?
I think Nigel was the only one who had them added.
And where's Nigel, by the way? Mm, ten name search. Okay, let me invite Nigel, then he can maybe add them. Yeah, sure.
We're not live, right?
I think we are, but yeah. Nigel, please add Katsuki.
Yeah, just for a bit.
Bro wants a trash talk behind the
Bro,
scenes. Welcome back. We're going into our fourth match of the evening. We do have a Katsuki versus Saint Dynasty, and we are now in the draft phase. And we do see Hayabusa being banned out. You know, every single match so far, Hayabusa has been banned.
All I want to say is that I want to see the Zas. Sam, I want to see the Zas.
Let's make the whole world
Yes,
see
the
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 love.
the the mage who was making waves in South Africa, Zask. We do want to
I
see him in action, but anyway.
I like the Florin ban because it's like when you engage to the enemy team and then Florin's ult and like the HP just up so much.
I
The
know.
Lucas ban is really nice. I think they watched Mimic Shame.
Yeah, but I would think that if they did watch that match, they should have banned out maybe the Lucas and the Joy instead, because I mean Joy's open. Unless they're gonna pick up the Joy now, then that would make sense. But as for the side of Saint Dynasty, we do see that they chose not to ban out a second hero.
Experience the euphony of suffering.
Granger over Joy
My tail's been itching
and
for a
over
real
Clea.
fight.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Let's play together.
Okay, we do see Tokoloshi picking up the Changi. I know like her damage was nerfed, but she's got so much more cooldown at the moment on her ult.
There
And oh
is
my
Sam.
god, we're gonna get to see it! Guys, we're gonna get to see the Zask in action.
And the Faramus. Is this Faramus Rome? Yeah, it is.
I have no
um,
idea.
okay, the Tig. Um, I mean, the Clea is like so strong because she can just like ult the Tig into the turret, you know. But if like same stick together, then obviously the Tig can get a good ult,
Time
and
to drop
then
the beat of the
there's the
flash.
Joy. So I agree with what you said. They could have banned out the Joy and the Lucas.
Yeah,
Instead, or they could have like they if they wanted to ban our junglers, they could have banned the Haya and the Joy and then take the Lucas.
but that's what I thought they were gonna do. And then when I saw them banning the Lucas, I thought, okay, first pick is Joy, because Joy is pretty much pick a ban, right? But they they didn't
Mm.
pick it, so I was very confused. I mean, yeah, they picked up the Granger, but I think in terms of prioritizing, definitely prioritize the Joy over Granger. But anyway, we
Wait,
do see that
this is
Alpha and Melissa being banned out.
this is Joy EXP.
Yeah, this is Joy EXP.
Okay, so Mimic's like, you know what? I'm gonna take the Joy. Con on the Lance. So far, we haven't seen Lance being picked, but obviously people have been picking it in MPL. So
Mhm.
I want to see how it works out here.
We're just gonna be standing and watching from the sidelines and comparing Con's Joy to Kyrie. That's all I'm gonna be doing.
Let me not say anything. Oh, Fanny. Um,
Okay, a pretty I don't know if I can say that word, but pretty ballsy pick, picking up that Fanny. And the Fovius being picked up. I mean, Fovius pretty strong, a lot of sustain, and I mean, we have seen him being played in other matches today as well, and he's pretty good. Not gonna lie. Not really sure how he matches up against that Joy though. But we do see Yassi picking up that Moskov as the final pick. Moskov is definitely in the top three MMs at the moment. I think it's like top one. He's really, really good. But yeah, what do you think of both drafts?
um, I'm more in favor of Saints, and I'm not being biased. Okay, it's
You
just
are being
that
biased.
yeah, like there's a clear. No one has Purify.
Oh yeah,
Obviously the
true,
Zap
true.
can get out of the clear ult, with his ult, but like take the Purify.
Yeah, no, it's like they didn't take life insurance against Kalia at the moment. But yeah, anyway, in terms of the draft, I do think Saint Dynasty has a better draft because I do see a lot of meta picks in their draft. The side of Akatsuki, they have a good draft as well. I'm not hating on it. I mean, they have the Fanny, they have the Granger, they have the Phobius, but it all does boil down to execution. So anyway, I'm gonna hand over to Alien Malice.
Thank you, thank you. Um, but I personally have to disagree with every notion SMR and Jazz we're talking about. Absolutely love
Holding
the
back.
Phobies here.
You're
I
holding back.
absolutely love the Phobies. Because if you think about it, it's an absolute counter. It's an absolute beast against the Joy, against the Lance, even against the Moskov as well. Even the Granger kind of wins out against the Moskov in lane in terms of the trade, in terms of poking. So I genuinely like that too.
You're already seeing it happen.
The only pick I have a question about is the Zask. Because of how stationary he is, and you're versing two marksmen, but I mean two assassins. But we're seeing that Saint Dynasty have devious intentions for the top lane.
Top lane
Guys,
already
I
being a
just want to point
battlefield.
out.
Goku showing in the kills.
Oh damn!
My goodness. Goku, okay, you know what? I think he's about to silence Samara and Jazz with that Fanny gameplay. But oh my goodness,
Bro.
you know what? I'm actually looking forward to this game. Sam, bite. You should take back what you said.
I never said anything bad. I just said it was a ballsy pick. That's all I said. And also, I just want to point out, 80's just disagreeing with me because I told everyone that he was going to trash talk people when our mics was turned off. Okay? Just want to put that out there. Okay, I'm going to mute myself now.
But anyway, we have the turtle spawning up just now. We're gonna watch the positioning by these players. Ira, do you have any more further comments onto our team drafts that we're going on right now?
Draft wise, I still have to keep to my notion. I do like the Koski's draft. The only thing I do have a problem with the Zos because of how stationary is, especially when he doesn't have that level 4. But I think afterwards it's going to be
Ooh, the
depending on skill
Chang'e
level.
getting
Yeah.
stuck out of
Tank
position
top of
and
the
getting
way,
picked
man.
off.
Tank top of the way with a kill.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. That's very clean from them. I actually do think that they're going to start pressuring them seriously here into this turtle fight because they have more team fight potential. The Kalia going in for the Phobia is a bit incorrect from targetization. He should have been going for the jungler. Tigreal commits the ult onto the Joy. Mimic is in a bad position. He commits the Vengeance but is able to escape. Chang'e doing the pinch damage onto Pain. Will Pain be able to be taken down? He's not going to go down without a fight. But we have the Fanny. Missing Cables, struggling, puts in the ult a little too early. And the Cables is missing it a bit. And should have gotten some hits on there before coming to the ult. But you can see the turtle starting to be free for Akatsuki. Oh, but Khan shows them how it's done with the retry gap. Going in and turning the tide. Khan being the magic that Saint Dynasty needed into this early game. Triple kill for Khan and a red buff.
Yeah, definitely. Khan is turning up the levels, especially now if you look at the level lead, not even the gold lead, is already at level 7, stealing a buff as well, so you know that that value is going to be tremendous. Um, I don't like how long the Koski stood there in that team fight without doing anything. I felt as though they had the advantage, but we're seeing Kalia engage out in Granger at the top lane.
Ranger getting picked off. Chang'e doing the final hit and getting the kill. This is looking a bit dire for Akatsuki. Maybe they can see some set plays from Tigreal just to maybe alleviate some of this pressure. We have Goku going into the top lane, trying to grab Yasi, but the cable's a bit of a struggle. And Kalia is there as a protection for the Moskov. We're starting to see more disciplined gameplay from Saint Dynasty, with Chang'e committing the ult. Tigreal forced to flicker out of there to survive. But is there going to be a re-engagement by the Fanny? Bit of a cable issue here, and Kalia, can she capitalize on this mistake? Fanny gets taken down, and Robin, forced to flicker out, is able to survive. Mimic coming into the back line, taking out Tigreal, and Khan doing the final blow to end us off on a 3-for-0 trade. Very interesting fights, man. Again, aggressive through and through.
Aggressive through and through, but I think I had it. I had a feeling that this is how they're gonna play it out, man. Because especially if you look at the draft, it's a very disrespectful draft, man. It's just absolutely disregarding the enemy team. But
Solo
we are gonna
kill in the
see
top
Fanny being
lane.
picked up, and this is not looking good as their jungler goes down for nothing. Same dynasty, akin to their playing style. I think we're seeing patterns in how they play and how aggressive they can be, but this is almost a mirror image of the last game that we saw.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And looking at the bot lane, Phobius about to get choked out. And we see a battle happening into the blue buff side. Tigreal forced to flicker out. That is good value for the team of St. Dynasty. Fanny tries to go in, tries to get the buff. It's a bit difficult to run the Fanny without the blue buff, but it's to no
Hmm.
avail. It gets taken down.
Yep, definitely, man. That's a turtle and a buff, and also a kill onto the jungler again for absolutely nothing in return. In terms of the trades, it doesn't seem as though the Akatsuki are having any at all. And as we look at the items, rather a brief look at the items, we are seeing that Tokolishi has picked up that Feather of Heaven as well as the Golden Staff. So it is a attack speed oriented. Oh, there's a bit of a skirmish everywhere.
Skirmish in the bot lane and the top lane. Phobius gets taken down, and the Fanny Lancelot slicing and dicing. Is he going to be taken down by Yasin? Unfortunately, not for Akatsuki. Zask, the final frontier for the bot lane, dealing with three. Will he be
She's
able
just
to
giving
stand
up.
his ground? The ult gets committed. Is he going to take one for the count? Ooh, that's close, but he is able to escape. Unfortunately not. That is mega kill for Mimic and the pressure onto their jungle. What do you think
Yeah,
happened here,
definitely a
man? Like
Khan with a
the
late
draft,
arrival. Trying
like you said,
go on.
like you said, man. Like the draft is really, really good on the side of Akatsuki. What do you think in terms of execution that they failed to do here?
I think layering you know, pulling up their skills together and kind of playing as a team. I think they have the advantage in that regard. Also in the early game, the amount of space that the Phobius was allowing the team to have, space that they didn't even try to use, let alone actually do. But we are going to see the Kalia pull back
Ooh,
the Ranger.
Rancher getting picked off, and Goku just barely escaping. Kalia making an engagement onto the Tigreal.
Oh,
Flicker gets committed, but the implosion play under the turret, just perfect enough, just good enough for a
look.
good, clean kill and shutdown on Robin and Yasi. Goku coming in for the cleanup, but the damage is not there. We're starting to see what happens when your jungle gets invaded throughout the whole game. A quick kill for Khan and a very thin escape by him.
Yeah, very thin escape, man. These are very slippery assassins here. And this partnership between Conqueror or Khan and Mimic, even before I left ML, it was absolutely insane how these two players can just mix and match and just produce absolute magic. And we are seeing a bit of that magic in this game. Well, not a bit, they're absolutely
Right.
dominating. But we see how good these two can be. But yeah, man, I have to question a lot about that draft. Okay, I'll just be honest. The only thing I still did not like was the Zosk because there are other mages you could have went with, but oh my days, the shutdown.
Ooh, shut down on the Lancelot. That will do them wonders. The Lord has just spawned, but will they capitalize on this moment?
Look
Chung-E
at the
going
focus.
toe to toe with Pain, just barely making it. He is able to go for the kill. Oh, just barely. Mimic does get the cleanup though. That's incredibly. That's a good rotation from him. Fanny in the background, sneaking and grabbing the blue buff just, just enough. She's back into the fight. And is she able to grab a kill here? No, she is incredibly
Oh,
low. The
nice
snipe
snipe.
by Yassi. Oh my goodness, the prediction right as she was cabling. Oh my word, that better have been caught. Somebody clip that.
We're gonna clip that and show it back because that was absolutely insane from Yassi. And I hear he rather is a mage player. So shout out to all the mages they're representing right now. But this is an absolute wonderful game to watch. The seeing a bit of a
Gabriel
engage
getting
onto
caught out of
Orochimaru again.
rotation, forced to flicker. Chang'e uses the ultimates, but that was a good trade from them. They have a lot more potential to be aggressive on this final Lord push as a result of it.
Definitely, man. And one thing I have to say, I do like the aggression from Robin. There's just absolutely no hesitation whatsoever. I think it kind of suits the
That's
chaotic
the
nature
entire
of Saint
gameplay with him.
Dynasty.
You're absolutely right.
But yeah, man, I'm kind of interested in seeing how the Akatsuki defend this Lord, especially with the wave clear that they have. It's not necessarily significant, but oh, Robin,
Ooh, Robin. Getting taken down by the Tigreal. The ult gets committed by the Tigreal, and the Lord still full HP. No one kited it towards the turrets. That may cost them the match. And Mimic going in for the dive and taking another one down. The Lord still going up. Is there enough just to get this? I think Lancelot is able to get this base. He should just, hey, now he's aura farming. He's just standing there. You saw him.
yeah,
Yo, but
using for quick,
either way, what a clean match by Saint Dynasty. You love to see it.
handy Andy style. That was a very, very clean matchup, man. And I think I'm surprised nobody
Both
got a
said
chocolate.
handy Andy.
I don't know. It's the first thing that came to mind. It's the first thing that came to mind. But I am kind of
If
surprised that
this
nobody had a chocolate. You know what I mean? I thought maybe we'd see a chocolate factory, but
if this was a bet, Ari would be broke right now. I'm sorry, what was that?
For
You were saying
real.
that you
no, 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 no,
disagree?
no, no.
You
I said, no, no, no,
disagree?
no.
He
I
just
Just
agreed
the
said,
with
spider.
everything I said
no, no,
and
no, no.
then he followed his own words, guys. Like,
If you give a
Avi.
mythic player somebody like Nana and you give like a legend or what is this? What is this other grandmaster? I don't know, the most meta hero. It's they're still gonna lose. You know what I mean? So I think this is it. The full views was
But I
absolutely amazing.
literally said
Just
it was up to execution.
look
And you
back.
were like, no, no.
No, no, no. I said you said the draft. We were talking about the drafts, and I said draft wise, completely draft wise, nothing else. The Fovius into this type of matchup is really, really good because the amount of space that he allows you to have. You know, the Kalia can't just walk up. The Lance can't
Hmm.
just walk up. The only
No, no,
person who can probably
you
do
were
anything.
just hating on us, Ari. You were just
No, it's not
hating
hate.
at this point.
Wisdom. Wisdom. I'm sharing it with you. You know what I mean? I'm sharing it with you. Listen. Listen to a sage of the game who's watched this game way too many times for their own
Anyways,
good. I do
guys,
know that.
Ari is squadless. So like if Fluffy
Wow.
Max is
Ah,
watching,
Being
Wow.
personal now. I'm out of here.
Wow. That's how you know you're dealing with women. They can't just argue with logic. They just they just have to bring up,
so
oh,
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty sexist. That's
yes, it
really
is. I'm very
sexist.
sexist. I'm very sexist, misogynistic.
Mm,
I'm very titleistic. Whatever, list it, whatever
Wow.
you
adjective.
know the stream is still
And
on, right?
Both of
I
you
know, I know.
misogynistic.
But everything I say is just lies, banter, and hopefully we'll see another
He just
entertaining
said
game ahead.
everything he says is lies. Guys, please do not trust Avi. He's outing
Yes,
himself on stream.
do not
Like,
trust me
yeah.
whatsoever.
Also,
And
guys,
when
I
I
just
say
want to
I'm not
point
gonna
out
be a good player for
something.
the team, do not trust.
Guys, I just want to point out something. Throughout the entire match, not a single person from the side of Akatsuki was able to land a single hit on any of Saint Dynasty's turrets. They were all full HP right until the last minute of the game. Like nothing, not a single turret was taken down, not a single hit on a single turret. I found that to be super interesting to note. Um, yeah, just wanted to put that out there.
Honestly, I think Ari should go coach them. I see the vision in that.
But yeah, what? Which teams are playing now? Because I'm kind of curious. Maybe I'm not the only one in the chat who's curious, so maybe you guys can enlighten us to that fact. So, which teams are we going to see display their
Wait,
skills next?
where's Doof?
I'm with you. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you on that.
Bro, just charge while you're streaming.
Oh.
Wait, can't Malice stream?
At least it's
Okay, okay. Bro, bro is just backhanded compliments today.